Breakfast at Tiffany's was released by Paramount Pictures on October 5, 1961, to huge critical and commercial success, grossing $14 million on just a $2.5 million budget. The movie follows Holly Golightly, an elegant Upper East Side socialite, who spends her time between wild parties and mysterious day trips to Sing Sing prison. She is confident that she has seen and done just about everything before, but her life is about to get more complicated. A struggling writer named Paul becomes her new neighbor, and little by little, he falls for the unstoppable dream girl with a zest for life. After all, the two seem meant for each other, even though they quietly struggle to keep their past at bay. A mix of pride and romance, along with an early morning breakfast at Tiffany's, is the prelude to a breezy New York City love affair. Audrey Hepburn's portrayal of Holly Golightly is generally considered to be one of her most memorable and identifiable roles. She regarded it as one of her most challenging, since she was an introvert, required to play an extrovert. During the film, Holly wears the same dress all the way through the movie, simply changing the accessories to give each outfit a different look. The little black dress that she made famous was sold for $807,000 on December 4, 2006, at a Christie's auction house in London, making it the second most expensive piece of movie memorabilia ever sold. The first is the Best Picture Oscar for Gone with the Wind. Many people think that Holly's sunglasses are Ray-Bans, but they're not. The sunglasses are actually made by Oliver Goldsmith. On the 50th anniversary of the film in 2011, the sunglasses were released to the public, and you can buy a pair for between $400 and $500. Although not visible on camera, hundreds of onlookers watched Audrey Hepburn's window shopping scene at the start of the movie. This made her nervous, and she kept making mistakes. It wasn't until a crew member nearly got electrocuted behind the camera that she pulled herself together and finished the scene. When author Truman Capote wrote the short story, he envisioned Marilyn Monroe in the part of Holly Golightly. Monroe was originally cast, but her drama coach, Lee Strasberg, told her that playing the call girl type was not good for her image, and so she dropped out. The film went on to be a huge success, with Monroe's replacement, Audrey Hepburn, receiving Golden Globe and Academy Award nominations for Best Actress. George Peppard was a student of method acting, a style Audrey Hepburn found difficult to work with. Nonetheless, the two actors remained close friends until her death in 1993, and Peppard followed closely behind, dying just a year and a half later. For his role as Mr. Yunioshi, Mickey Rooney wore makeup and a prosthetic mouthpiece, changing his face to stereotype a Japanese person. Since the 1990s, this character has been the subject of controversy and increasing protest. The film is used as an example of Hollywood's racist depiction of Asians in the movie Dragon, the Bruce Lee story from 1993. This is where Bruce Lee sees the film with his girlfriend, only for her to suggest they leave the screening upon seeing how upset he is at the film's depiction, implying how Lee would one day challenge those racial Hollywood stereotypes. In his audio commentary for the DVD release, producer Richard Shepard said that at the time of production, as well as in retrospect, he wanted to recast Mickey Rooney, not because Rooney didn't play the part well, but because Shepard thought the part of Mr. Yunioshi should be played by an actor that was Japanese. Even director Blake Edwards stated long after, "Looking back, I wish I had never done it, and I would give anything to be able to recast it, but it's there, so onward and upward." The very first scene was the opening shot of Holly munching on a pastry in front of Tiffany's in an evening gown. The scene took place in front of the actual Tiffany's on Fifth Avenue in Manhattan, early on a Sunday morning. Tiffany's was extremely cooperative during the filming and allowed the crew unprecedented access to film its interiors. Although it's never explained why Holly is wearing a bedsheet at her cocktail party, an earlier scene, cut before release, establishes that she'd been taking a bath and had to improvise a gown in the spur of the moment. The cut scene was then featured in a Life magazine pictorial, shortly before the film was ever released. 300 felines were brought to an open casting call for the movie. The winning cat, named Putney, appeared in location scenes shot in New York City, while a trained movie cat was used during West Coast shooting. There were at least 9 different cats used for the animal. One of the 9 cats used in this film is called Orangey, and he appears in the scene where Holly hears news about her brother Fred and throws a tantrum. Orangey was a top animal actor at the time, who won his second Patsy Award for his time on screen, which is the animal equivalent of the Oscar. The wild party sequence in Holly's apartment was reportedly the longest and hardest scene to shoot. Most of the scenes that occur are not in the novel, but were originally scripted by Blake Edwards. For this scene, Edwards wanted to capture the freewheeling lifestyle of Holly and her New York friends, using an intricate series of visual gags. It took 6 days to film on a Paramount soundstage, and the extras who played the guests were all friends of director Blake Edwards. Cases of real champagne were ordered, and the director let the bubbly flow during filming, allowing everyone to contribute ideas of outrageous behavior. Supplies included 120 gallons of soft drinks, 60 cartons of cigarettes, hot dogs, cold cuts, chips, dips, and sandwiches. A smoker, which is often used by a beekeeper, was also brought in to create more smoke. And all of this made the scene one of the most memorable scenes in the film. The song Moon River was almost cut from the finished picture, according to singer Johnny Mercer, during one of the previews of the film in San Francisco. The audience was not terribly enthusiastic about the tune. Luckily, Audrey Hepburn herself protested, saying "Over My Dead Body," and the song of course stayed and became a classic. Since then, Moon River has been recorded more than 500 times. In a 2008 interview, Mickey Rooney said he was heartbroken about the criticism he received for his role in the movie. He said, "Blake Edwards wanted me to do it because he was a comedy director. They hired me to do this overboard act, and we had fun doing it. Never in all the more than 40 years after we made it, not one complaint. Every place I've gone in the world, people say, 'God, you were so funny.' Asians and Chinese come up to me and say, 'Mickey, you were out of this world.'" Rooney also said that if he'd known people would be so offended, he would never have done it. And his final thought on the topic was that people that didn't like it, he forgives them. And then he stated, "God bless America, God bless the universe, God bless Japanese, Chinese, Indians, all of them, and let's have peace." Let me know in the comments if I missed anything, and please consider subscribing and sharing Recollection Road Entertainment with someone you know. If you enjoyed this video, consider watching this playlist. As always, thank you so much for watching.